say when we obviously get in Isaac, will obviously go a little bit more. But like the pressure on the difference is Liverpool have won a Premier League. Arsenal are going to spend all this money and they have not won anything. So like the pressure on them to win a league is going to be massive. Man City, they've spent 200 odd million in January and they'll spend another 150 in the summer. That's going to be expectation on them to win the trophy. Pep Guardiola, the expectations that he has as a manager is so high that he won't expect anything less than them being first in the Premier League come the end of the season. So the expectations, I think, even though Liverpool have spent a lot of money this year, they're a team that naturally don't spend a lot of money in windows, especially not this much. So I don't know. I would say Liverpool have the backing of winning the Premier League last season, whereas the other teams don't. And Arsenal especially, I think the pressure is going to be on them. Like if they have a bad start, Arteta will come under pressure straight away. Whereas Slot will be given a little bit more give.
I agree and disagree. I disagree that the expectation is as high because I think you're seen as the better team, therefore the expectation is higher. Where I completely agree with you, and this is why I think language is important, the pressure on Arsenal is higher in terms of fan pressure because I know what they're thinking. They've been telling me for weeks on the shows. We had a chance to win it. We missed out. We had another chance. We missed out. Last season, we were poor. Now there's another team that's better than us. There is a frustration because in their best moment, they didn't grasp the opportunity. So where I agree with you is there will be a fall. If you guys underachieve this year, there'll be less of a fallout from your fans than if Arsenal don't win the league or don't win something.
Yeah.
That works in reverse. Equally, if you guys do win the league this year, there'll be a big celebration. Your celebration won't be as big as Arsenal's if they go on to win it because of how they're feeling. So I think it works in both directions. But Arsenal, I think, barring Man United and Ruben Amorim, I think the second most pressured team and manager under pressure this season is Arsenal and Mikel Arteta.
They are. But there's also the point that because they've not won anything, they don't need to win the Prem. They just need to win something, Terry. Like they're fans.
No, I think a Premier League or a Champions League. I don't think an FA Cup or a Carabao Cup will cut it.
You say that, but their fans are starving. We've seen so many of their fans. We've seen I watch their shows. Like I don't know about you guys, but I tune into Arsenal panels. They're funny. You watch big up to Dan Potts. The Arsenal Roundabout. He's got a good panel. He's got the Yard Man. He gets Gunner. He gets all of the different groups and specs of Arsenal fans, and they all argue. And the one thing that I hear consistently over the weeks is Arsenal, we just need to win a trophy. Get me the Carabao Cup, get me an FA Cup, and I'll be happy. Get me they are starving so bad.
I don't believe them. I don't know anyone specifically who's saying that. Do you know why I don't? But do you know why I don't believe them that a Carabao Cup's enough? Do you know why I don't? I'm going to be asking, and maybe this is we can go into this. Maybe they're telling the truth, but I want to start asking some really tough questions. I want to know what quenches people's thirst this year. And what I mean by that is, and the reason why I asked this, of course, if they win a Carabao Cup, when they've won it, they're going to celebrate in that moment. I don't disagree with that. I want to know what's going to quench people's thirst. And what I mean by quenching people's thirst is where you finish the season and you could spend the summer in a pretty good to very good mood based on what your football team has done in that season. That is what I want to know, because that for me is the true expectation. Because I get a feeling there are some gooners that if they won the Carabao Cup, became fifth in the league, went out early in the Champions League, I bet all summer they're angry still. So for me, I don't think it is just enough. I don't think they're telling the truth. I think they need more. So my question, and I could pose it to you boys now, what would be enough to genuinely quench your thirst, where you spend the end of the season and the summer where you're in a good mood because you're really happy with what your team did? Like, what is that? And maybe you haven't thought about it. Maybe we'll wait till next week, right? But my view is that's the question here.
Yeah.
Because I don't trust that people tell the truth sometimes when they say, I just want a Carabao Cup. I'm like, I remember when you guys said if you started getting into title races, you'd be happy. You weren't, right? So the goalposts always get moved. So I want to know what is going to quench people's, and there's no right or wrong answer. It's personal. What's going to quench your thirst? And I remember being a United fan, even when Aguero moment, lost the league, I didn't spend the summer angry. Do you know why? Because I knew next year we'd be back in the title race. So I was always happy with my football club, right? So the point is, what's going to quench your thirst, George? What's going to quench your thirst, Jamie? And the viewers, what is going to quench your thirst and genuinely make you happy for the season and the summer where you go, I fucking love my club, man? Like, what's going to make you feel that way? That's the question, I think.
Yeah.
That's a very good
I think Liverpool. So as a Liverpool fan, I would say winning the Premier League, retaining the Premier League, and then having 21 league trophies going like stand out alone. I think that would be crazy. And then winning a 7th Champions League, like to be level with Milan, that would also be crazy. So I think one of them, I'd be happy with one of them. But as an Arsenal fan, I'm thinking of it. Imagine going, right? So the season ends, they win an FA Cup, let's just say, right? Let's just say they win an FA Cup. Arteta gets to the end of the season, they lose out in the league by 2 or 3 points, get knocked out in the Champions League semi-final, whatever it is. Going into that summer, would you be happy as an Arsenal fan? I think most Arsenal fans wouldn't be. I think it's Premier League, Champions League. Like, people will be like, oh, well done. 7 seasons, you've won 2 FA Cups, and the first one was at Emery's squad. The same questions will still be asked if you were Arsenal. So I think the pressure is on them to do the same as Liverpool, win a Premier League or a Champions League.
And this is why I asked the question, and I'm going to give George more time to think of his answer.
No,
That's cool. That's cool, because I don't even know if I've decided on mine yet. Like, I'm being really real about this. I heard Arsenal fans at the end of last season say they'd rather be in the Europa League than the Champions League because they have a better chance to win it. There is some flaws to that logic. One, if you're a team that was only ever good enough to consistently be in the Champions League, you wouldn't be as good as you are now, so it wouldn't be as easy to win. Secondly, I don't believe you, because I don't believe, and why I don't believe you is a lot of you are the same Arsenal fans that were fuming at Wenger, who was winning you FA Cups, had you in the top 4, that wasn't enough. So I just don't believe winning a trophy is enough to quench the thirst. But what's yours, George? What would render you very unhappy and very positive about the future of your club at the end of the season?
For me, and a Champions League place and a trophy, innit? Like, I think obviously building on what we've done this year. I'm not saying that it's like I could still be happy with just a Champions League place, but like I said, what would quench my thirst? I've tasted a trophy this year, so I'm very thirsty for another one. I'm just being honest. That could be a Carabao Cup, it could be an FA Cup. It doesn't have to be a massive one, just a trophy at that. So yeah, for me, that I'd say that would make me a very happy man going into the summer next year. But even if we just get Champions League football, I'll be quite content, depending on the way that it finishes throughout the season.
Yeah, mine's fairly similar to yours. I mean, I think what would completely quench my thirst this season, looking at our situation going into the next year, would be a Champions League finish and a trophy, where I think I could end the season and go, massive improvement. We had some silverware. I would then, and this is a little bit of an assumption in this, I'll be honest about it. You would assume if we came 4th or 3rd from where we were in 15th and won a trophy, that the trajectory was looking like it was going up. Therefore, I would think at that point, I go, do you know what? I'm really excited about the next season. I'm really happy with the direction that we're going in, because that would be a massive improvement. I may, in the end, could win a trophy and come 6th and potentially feel similar to that. But I'd love to go into if we improve that much, what I'd then be excited about is another good summer. And you've always got, I always think you've always got a chance of winning the Champions League if you're a team that's improving and getting better. So I'd rather be in that than in the Europa League or somewhere else. But yeah, that would be mine at this particular juncture. And everyone's will be different. City fans won't be the same as United. Tottenham's won't be the same as Arsenal's. But I want to ask that of all my panelists over the next couple of weeks, for people to be honest. And look, but it's not about delusion. It's not about delusion.
Clip them up.
It's about what quenches your thirst. Now, if we come 6th and don't win a trophy, it doesn't mean it doesn't mean I'll be grumpy. It just means I won't feel fully fulfilled for a season. That would make me go into the summer where I'm like, I can't wait for next season. That's the question. I don't believe any Arsenal fan who just goes, as long as we just win a Carabao Cup, I'm buzzing, we're a success. I'm calling BS on that. Because if you come 10th and win the Carabao Cup, I know you're calling for Arteta's head. So you're not lying. Lying's the wrong word. Be honest about it. Like, think about the scenarios. I don't think they're telling the complete and utter truth. I want to say a big thank you here, by the way, to Lethal, who has gifted 5 memberships out to you guys in the audience. So a big thank you to all of you. DR Nobody says, what quenches my thirst is another underdog Champions League win and a trophy at Wembley finally. That'd be a big season for Chelsea. He's a big Chelsea fan. The work Liverpool have done has taken some pressure off Arteta. Liverpool are favourites by everyone's measure. Viets alone takes the pressure off. Thank you, Jamie. Jamie had to shoot. I don't know if it takes the pressure off Arsenal, George. I wouldn't agree with that personally.
I think it gives them an excuse. And we know one thing about Arsenal fans is they love an excuse, another reason as to why Arteta couldn't get the job done. So when I look at all this Liverpool stuff, I generally just view this as Arsenal fans later on in the season be like, oh, how are we supposed to win a trophy when Liverpool have gone and spent 400 million this window? We can't compete with that. Well, you can. You just make smarter and better acquisitions than they have. You've signed Gyökeres. You got your number one striker. They got their number one striker. There's no reason as to why you don't go compete with them, especially with how far away you was from them last season. You had all these injuries, but you only managed to be a few points away from them. There's no excuse. I generally think there's no excuse. Arsenal fans far too often they seek validation but avoid expectation. So if you're going to want the validation for signing Gyökeres, you're going to want the validation for having the big transfer window that you had, Madueke, Gyökeres, Zubimendi, potentially Eze. You need the expectation. Go out there and get the job done. 5 years, 0 trophies. We need to start holding them accountable. Arteta, do your job.
Big words there. Listen, viewers, let us know, people, what your thoughts are on that. Arsenal fan here. We needed to offload Jesus, Vieira, Nelson, Lokonga, and Trossard and go all in for Eze. Bold statement, I know. A friend of mine was